And well, okay, they're both maxed out, but this player, pretty much he has upgrades, but pretty much all he did is have the same unit composition plus a few infestors. And infestors, I don't know if they were the correct play here. I think what he was trying to do is really catch these mutalisks, which my brother was either rightfully careful to keep his mutalisks. He was either aware of it and purposely keeping his mutalisks at a safe distance, or obviously, or it could have just happened. I don't know, but the important thing is that he did, and did not accidentally lose all of his mutalisks. Because if those infestors had gotten one pummel lord off on those mutalisks, the rest of this would have just swarmed in and taken them out. Now, see, that was just how, I don't know why I was doing that. There was things like that in the wrong order. Moving my command center over, this is still controlled. That's what I wanted to talk about when this happened. What I wanted to do, which I thought I did, yeah, see, there is a tank right there, and his siege range must have just been, look at that, like a pixel out of range. And I had actually scanned here to take that, to want to take that Zergling out so that they couldn't see me moving my command center in. But I didn't notice that it did not take the Zergling out. And I moved my command center in without moving my forces in place. And so that command center got taken out very easily, then I'm moving my main command center over. Here we go. All of my brother's mutalisks got taken out. His corruptors, he doesn't really have a lot of corruptors left. I don't really have a lot of Vikings left, so my opponent's air force was very strong. And this was just a crazy battle here. Earlier, I'm gonna go back because really this is like a three-pronged attack. It came on 3 flanks, so I can't really cover all of it. So I'm gonna go back. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but I don't want to miss anything for anything anyone does want to see. So I have, how many siege tanks do I have here? Only 5, 6. My opponent, what do I have? I have a little bit of upgrades, not a lot, but I'm on my infantry. My infantry's 2-1 now, and my siege tanks really take a lot of this out, because look at this, that is a ton of Bailers, a ton of Zerglings, but I'm not sure if maybe he just microed wrong, maybe he did it at the wrong time, but see, his air units are moving in, and his ground units haven't moved in yet. So he's missing his window a little bit. And these Zerglings didn't move at the same time as his Bailers did. Oh jeez, 3-3 Bailers. Let's see, my allies Zerglings went in. Maybe that was important as well, because his mainly those Zerglings moved in. Obviously they kept them back a little bit, and maybe that was important to give the siege tanks a little more time to hit them. And then this force moves in, which Hydralisks, my brother still has 4 Broodlords. How upgraded are they? They're 2, and his ground units are not upgraded yet, so how much damage is that? 26 damage on a Broodling Strike with 9.5 range. And I still have 4 siege tanks. At that point, I had a lot of Marauders. I still had basically all my infantry force at that point, because those Banelings didn't really do a whole lot. They sort of all attacked one at a time a little bit there. I'm sure that attack would have been a little bit more devastating if they had all attacked at the same time. But that's where the Zerg macro comes in, where they can just create a second army almost instantly. And for some reason, this player made a bunch of Zerglings in the end. Where this player made a bunch of Zerglings and Duelists. but we still have a decent Air Force here. Look at that, a lot of Corruptors, a few Vikings. My ally even still has a good deal amount of resources. And even makes a few food lords, but all these roaches, if those were Hydras, I suppose they probably could have taken out all these areas. Maybe the areas couldn't even have fought back, but look how many of them are left now. There's, what is that, 11? There's 11? If those have been 11 Hydralisks, they could have started probably bringing down these Brood Lords, because some of these had just hatched and weren't even ready to attack yet. I don't know why. He must have forgot about these infestors, as I'm sure they had. I'm sure their attention was very split. And at this point, the main natural are all gone. What happened here? My ally must have been hitting expansions as well, which is also very important because Zerg, like I said, they have very far reach. All they have to do is, when they know an opponent's army is at a certain place, he moves over here to protect it again, which is very good. If you know your opponent's army is in a certain place, Zerg can just hit whatever other place they want, for the most part. And my brother must have taken this out with a group of Zerglings, while their attention was divided while they were attacking us, probably. Or before they could have macroed out another army. And so Terran the Mule, Terrans and Mules, and all of my SCVs. I think I brought all of my SCVs down here because this is my only mining base. And take a look at income actually, because this is interesting because our opponents actually out-expansioned us this whole time. And I'm the only one on my team with income, but we still have this army which they can't really do anything about at this point. I have this section secured, so they can't hit these Brood Lords without getting here, and if they try to go through here, they're still not going to get to the Brood Lords. I'm sorry, I'm going to rewind again really quick, because I just wanted to see, did I just lose a few Vikings there that flew into the Hydralisks for some reason? Let me see. Whoa, that's way too far back. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Is this at the right point? Yeah, so I'm going to faster up here a little bit to... Yeah, this is the right point. See these move forward. I remember it was hard for me to micro the Vikings very well this game. Yeah, see there we go. That's what happened there. How many Vikings is that? Okay, a few split off, so really I lost 3 Vikings right there because I wasn't paying attention, or maybe I didn't have them in a hold position. I probably should have had them in hold position because Vikings can outrange anything else anyway, so they don't really need to move to engage anything. Let's see, he keeps some Zerglings over here as protection still because he's worried about... Yeah, you know, a lot of times, I think, I don't know, I'm sure some players do this and some don't, but it is very good to have your... What's going on over here? Oh, there must have been something right here, maybe an overlord or something. Oh, my ally tried to expand. Because he's been out of resources for a long time now. But really we have... Let's see, income... he is running out of resources actually, and since we've hit this so many times, he's been mining on this one longer. But we actually do still have a rather menacing force here, especially just because these Broodlords. I have a few Vikings, he still has a few Corruptors, and we have a defensive position. So if they try to really hit this, I bring in more tanks because I know there's still tons of Hydralisks out there. How are my upgrades doing? 2-0, 3-2. See, there it is again. Somehow I just keep scanning basically whenever my opponent... I keep scanning every time my opponent is expanding. See, my ally is still trying to harass. I must have scanned that, and he must have sent a few guys over there and not noticed right away that these banelings were here while the scan was still up. But I wonder if one problem with this game is, look at this, my opponent is still making tons of Corruptors. I think he just knew that these Broodlords were so dangerous and really just wanted something that can really get in and hit them. Oh, they're actually massive units, that's interesting. But the problem with that is Corruptors still don't do anything against any of the rest of this army. But it's a little... I get a Raven. I get a Raven because I'm so sick of these creep tumors. I really need this other expansion. How much resources do I have? I really need to use the rest of my resources. I actually get up another barracks, which is good. A lot of things I do late game is it's so hard to macro absolutely everything that especially on barracks, I'll just queue it up the whole barracks. And I'm pumping out tons of siege tanks. I really don't have to worry about anti-air so much anymore, because at this point I think I know that there's really not Mutalisks anymore. Mutalisks... I guess Mutalisks, here I go, I take out this expansion. I'm splitting my forces to be able to deal with my opponent's expansions. Harass, not just sit in your base. It's never good to sit in your base and not do anything. My Marines pretty much take no losses. Those banelings actually didn't even really do a whole lot either. I still have quite a bit of Marines here, even though that was a good number of banelings. And my Marines just continue going to work. It is hard, at least for me, I think, with determining the outcome of units when they're upgraded. But actually, we're all basically upgraded. Let's see, there's some Zerlings ran by. See, they're 3-3. His air units are 3-2. This player's units, they're still only 2-1. But he's hurting a lot on gas. I don't know why. Okay, one drone and one drone. That is not good at all. Look at all these drones that aren't even working. And sometimes it's really hard. It's easy to forget if you don't put units on gas. Oh, look at this. He has no gas income. And see, I just I get so pissed off these creep troopers. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I remember one thing I wanted to mention is at one point when my ally had Mutalisks, I asked him just to have an overseer fly around with his Mutalisks and kill creep tumors. Because I was so sick of these creep tumors. As a Terran player, I can't do anything. I can't land, I can't build bunkers, I can't do anything. See, I mine this out so quick, well, maybe not so quick, this is a very long game. All my SCVs are not doing anything again. But I was going to say a moment ago that if my opponent had built Mutalisks, they could have gone in here, taken out all these reactors, probably a lot of... How many reactors I have? That was a lot of minerals and gas I would have to replace. 5 reactors, and a lot of time it would take to build those. Probably... Look at this, I think... At this point I was way more worried about this. We were kind of... I wanted to start inching up to be able to take this expansion, and my opponent... That's our chamber. My opponent must have seen it again and wanted to push